energy conservation schemes. So energy conservation means energy saving. So what are the methods we have to save the energy? So in this, we are going to use the thermal power plant. So in that, what are the energy conservation methods we have? So that we are going to discuss. So further, you should know about the thermal power plant, right? So that I had explained yesterday. What is the thermal power plant? What are the major equipment there? So I had explained. So how this energy conservation measures are classified on economic basis. On economic basis means how much amount of cost you can save, how much amount of money you can save using a scheme. So based on that, these are divided into three categories. Suppose if you can save a minimum of 5 to 10%, then it comes under short-term energy conservation measure. And suppose if you can save 10 to 15%, then that will be comes under long-term energy conservation scheme. See what are the energy conservation schemes? These are classified based on the economic, means cost, how much amount of money you are going to save. First one is a short-term energy conservation scheme, and second one medium-term energy conservation scheme. In these two schemes, we can save a minimum of 5 to 10%. So saving can be obtained from these two energy conservation methods. And third one is a long-term energy conservation measure. So by using this, we can save up to 10 to 15% saving. So the saving will be 10 to 15 months. So by using these two, short-term and medium-term, we can save only 5 to 10%. But by using long-term, we can save up to 15%. And for short-term, there is no need of any investment. Investment is not required, so no need to invest any money. And in case of medium term, a low cost modification or low cost investment will be there in the medium term measure. So then it can save another 5 to 10% saving in the annual electricity bill or annual energy consumption. So let's see one by one. So this is a thermal power plant. Before going to those schemes, so first we have to know about this thermal power plant. Again, I will briefly explain this. This is the coal storage tank. So from here we are taking the coal and we are burning the coal here, and while burning the coal it releases heat energy, and that heat energy we are going to use to boil the water. So in these tubes water will be there, and that water gets heated due to the heat energy from the burning of the coal. So then the water keep on boiling and it will reaches to the boiling point, then it converts into steam, and that steam will be given to this steam turbine. So because of that steam force, the turbine blades will start rotating. Now the turbine starts rotating. So whenever the turbine starts rotating, this turbine is coupled with a generator. See this coupling. Coupling is there. So that means the generator and the turbine, those two are connected here. So this is what the coupling. This is turbine and this is generator. So if the turbine is rotating, the shaft is connected to the generator also. Therefore, we are giving mechanical energy to the generator. Then generator converts that mechanical energy into electrical energy. So then we will get the electrical energy. We are taking through these power lines. See, this is a boiler in which we are going to boil the water. So for that, what we need? Water we need. So that water, where we are getting that water? So this is the water pump, feed water processing plant. So once we are using the steam, that will be again condensed. Condensation means the steam is converted into water. So that condensed water will be again given to this boiler. and this total thing in which we are burning the coal is called the furnace. This is what furnace. Now let us see the schemes, energy conservation schemes one by one. First one is the short-term energy conservation scheme. The items involved in this group, or what are the examples we are going to take? How can we save the energy in the thermal power plant using this short-term energy scheme? So those are, first one is furnace efficiency. See, whenever if you are using an efficient machine or efficient anything which is having efficiency, then it requires less energy. Efficient motor or efficient generator. So if you use an efficient thing, then it requires less energy. If the efficiency is less, then it requires more energy to perform the same operation. Right? So in the same way here, we are talking about the furnace efficiency. So if the efficiency of the furnace is very high, then it can save the energy. So that is what short-term energy conservation scheme. So in this, first of all, what is meant by furnace? So this is the furnace. Furnace means by definition, it is a device for heating material. That means in this, we are going to burn the coal. So in this complete thing is called as a furnace. In this, we are burning the coal. Then it releases, that coal will releases heat energy. Suppose if the furnace have any leaks or cracks or openings are there, then what will happen? Whatever the heat energy we are getting from the coal, from the burning of the coal, that heat energy gets wasted. Why? Because through those leaks and openings, the heat energy will go out. But we have to use that heat energy completely to boil the water. That is our aim in the thermal power plant. So we should not waste that heat energy. So if the furnace having high efficient furnace means it doesn't contain any leaks or cracks or openings. Whatever the heat energy generated in the furnace completely utilized by the boiler. So that's why there must be, so the furnace must have a good efficiency. So for that, what we have to do in this short-term energy conservation scheme. So what we are going to do is, whatever the burners we are using here, or the furnace we are using here, that must be cleaned and maintained regularly. Maintenance means we have to check whether there is a crack or opening is there, that we have to check to avoid the wastage of heat. So the keep on monitoring will give you a good efficiency of the furnace, thereby we can save the energy. So this is short-term energy conservation scheme. For this, is there any investment here? We are not going to invest anything. The labor will be there in the power plant. They will keep on monitoring this and they will maintain it cleanly. Then the efficiency of the furnace will get increased. So this is one of the energy conservation. And next, heat exchangers. So what is meant by heat exchanger? See, heat exchangers, these are the systems, they will use a fluid to absorb heat from hotter outside surface or hotter outside source without that fluid and hot source mixing together. They will not mix, but the fluid can absorb the heat from the outside source. See, suppose if I have a pipe and in that some water is there and I am placing that pipe near to this furnace, for example. So here heat energy is there in the furnace, and whatever the water in that pipe, the fluid can absorb the heat energy outside that pipe. So this is called the heat exchanger. So for this there is a system in the thermal power plant, heat exchanger. See, even though you are maintaining well this furnace, some flue gases will be escaped from this furnace. So those flue gases contain some heat. So that we have to utilize. So for that we are using this heat exchanger. So I will show you the heat exchanger. So this is the actually this is the economizer in the thermal power plant. So this is called the heat exchanger. So how it is exchanging the heat? See, you can see the pipes here. See, these all pipes contains water. So I told you to the boiler. In the boiler we are boiling some water. So where we are getting the water? We have to feed water to the boiler first. Then we can heat that water, boil that water. See, suppose if you give some warm water to the boiler, then we can easily boil the water. The time required or the heat energy required to the boiling the water will be reduced. But if you give a cold water to the boiler, then what will happen? It requires more heat energy to boil. వాటర్ బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ కి రావాలంటే ఎక్కువ టైం పడుతుంది, సో ఎక్కువ హీట్ ఎనర్జీ కావాల్సి వస్తుంది. But if you give a warm water to the boiler, then we can reduce the energy. We can conserve the energy there, heat energy. So how we can give the warm water? See here, I told you some flue gases are escaped from the furnace. Those flue gases contains heat. Are you following? So let us assume these are the flue gases here. In the passage of the flue gases, this economizer or the heat exchanger will be placed. The system will be placed. Then these flue gases will pass through these pipes. Actually, the liquid in this here cold water inlet is there. So this is the inlet. Through this pipe, water will be flowing, and this is the outlet. And from here, this will be feed to the boiler. యాక్చువల్గా మనం బాయిలర్కి పంపించే వాటర్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి వస్తాయి, కోల్డ్ వాటర్ ఇన్లెట్. దిస్ ఇస్ ద మెయిన్ ఇన్లెట్. ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ద వాటర్ విల్ పాసెస్ త్రూ ఆల్ దీస్ పైప్స్ and it reaches this point, and from here onwards it will go to the boiler. This is the outlet. This is connected to the boiler. So what is happening here? So these pipes are placed in the passage of the flue gases. So these flue gases contain some heat. That heat can be absorbed by the water in these pipes. See, ఫ్లూ గ్యాసెస్ వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే వాటర్ ఆ హీట్ని అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకుని వామ్ వాటర్ లాగా తయారవుతుంది. సో దట్ మీన్స్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద గ్యాసెస్ దట్ ఈస్ ఎస్కేపింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఫర్నేస్, even though it is escaping, that is a waste gas, that is wasted, the heat energy, but we are utilizing it. That is called waste heat recovery system. We are not getting it as a waste, we are utilizing it. So whenever it is leaking, even though whatever the care you taken, some flue gases will be there, and those flue gases will be utilized like this to heat the feed water. Feed water is nothing but the water we are feeding to the boiler. So then the boiler takes less energy, heat energy, to boil the water. So that is what heat exchanger is. And this also you have to maintain properly. The careful monitoring of the performance should be carried out. So this, in all these short-term energy conservation schemes, main thing is monitoring and cleaning. These two are the important things. Because for these two, no need of any investment, and we can get some savings from this. Keep on monitoring and cleaning these equipments. So for this also, you have to monitor carefully. So in these pipes, there should not be any leak, right? So we have to monitor the performance of this heat exchanger system, and frequency of cleaning will increase the improved heat recovery. Suppose if there is a dust on these pipes, or sand particles or dust particles are there on these pipes, then what will happen? Whatever the heat coming from the flue gases, that can't be absorbed by the fluid in that pipe. So if there is no dust on the pipe, then the fluids or the water in that pipe can easily absorb the heat. So that's why frequency of cleaning will improve the heat recovery. So that is also one more important thing. So you have to keep on monitoring and you have to keep on cleaning. So then you can save the energy. So for this also there is no need of investment, but we can conserve some energy here. And next one is good housekeeping. So what is meant by good housekeeping? So this is not only for thermal power plant, in our houses also. We can take this example. What is the short-term energy conservation? Suppose in the hot season, we were using ACs, air conditioner. Instead of that, if you kept closed all the doors and windows, then the hot air cannot enter into our home. At least we can reduce the some energy. So otherwise, if our house is more heat, then the air conditioner will take more time to cool the room. So therefore, first we have to take our measure, that is all the doors and windows must be closed. Then our air conditioner will take, at least we can save some energy. Instead of getting 1 hour to cool the room, it will take at least 50 minutes. And the 10 minutes of energy saving is more than enough. So that is a short-term energy conservation scheme. For that, there is any investment? There is no investment for that. We just kept our doors and windows closed. And one more thing, lights. So whenever the natural light is sufficient or whenever the natural light is available, don't use of artificial light. In the apartments, so everybody, what will they do? All the doors and windows will be closed, and we are keep on using the lights. We are always sitting under the lights and fans. Instead of that, just open your doors and windows, then natural light will come to, to the room, so then we can utilize it. There we can reduce the energy. So that electrical energy we are saving there. So these are also good housekeeping methods or the short-term energy conservation scheme. So this comes under short-term energy conservation scheme. Next, use of steam. So this is also comes under thermal power plant. So what is this short-term energy conservation scheme in the thermal power plant? Use of steam means whatever the steam is generating in the boiler. So in the boiler, what is happening? We are boiling the water. So once the water reaches to the boiling point, it converted into steam. So that steam, whatever the steam is generated there, we have to use it completely, right? So to use it, there must not be any leak. So major steam leaks, whatever are there, we have to repair as soon as possible. We have to repair. So there should not be any leaks for the steam. So we have to utilize the steam completely. Whatever the steam we are generating, that steam we have to utilize completely to turn the turbine, to rotate the turbine. So for this, keep on monitoring, and if there is any leak, as soon as possible, we have to repair. So we have to use the steam in an efficient manner. And the last one is electrical power. So electrical power means, so this is also the example for the short-term energy conservation scheme. Suppose if you take any industry, energy conservation measures can reduce the annual current bill by 10 to 15%. So we have to reduce our electrical energy consumption. So in industry means so many equipments will be there. They has to use the electrical energy. Then how can you conserve the energy? How can you save the energy? So you have to take some conservation measures. What are those? So, good housekeeping. The same example can be used here also, in the industry also. And instead of those, in addition to those, we have to use some other energy conservation measures. Suppose enclosed draft fans will be there in the industries. So instead of using those enclosed draft fans, we have to use natural air cooling. Induced draft fans means, what is the use of that? Whatever the hot air inside the room, that will be drafted out by using that induced draft fans. Then it will cool the inside the room. It will cool. So further, the natural air cooling we have to use instead of those induced draft fans. See, I will give you example for this. In olden days కదా ఇప్పుడు విలేజెస్లో కూడా చూస్తే ఎగ్జాస్ట్ ఫ్యాన్స్ ఉంటాయి మనకి రూమ్స్లో, కిచెన్స్లో ఎగ్జాస్ట్ ఫ్యాన్స్ ఆర్ ఎగ్జాస్టర్స్. ఇప్పుడు మోడర్న్ టెక్నాలజీస్ చాలా వచ్చేసినాయి. మరి విలేజెస్లో ఎగ్జాస్ట్ ఫ్యాన్స్ చూస్తే ఎక్కడ ఉండవు, చాలా రేర్గా కనిపిస్తాయి. మరి అక్కడ ఎలా హాట్ ఎయిర్ బయటకు వెళ్ళిపోతుంది? దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ద న్యాచురల్ కూలింగ్. So they will use their windows and doors open, then it automatically cools the room. So we have to use those induced, instead of induced draft fans, we have to use the natural air cooling. And not only that, suppose if you in the industry, suppose some pumps are required to pump water in the industry. If they need two pumps to pump the water from one tank to the other tank, then instead of using these two pumps or one pump or two pumps, instead of using these pumps, you can use the gravity method. Gravity to pump water. Gravity means, suppose if one tank is at this level and other tank is on the ground, somewhat high difference, then due to gravity, the water can easily flow to this due to the gravitational force. So you have to use this gravity. Thereby you can reduce some amount of cost. You can save energy here. So pumping cost can be saved by utilizing gravity to pump water from one tank to other tank. So if there is a availability, if there is no availability, you have to use the pump. But if there is a availability to use this gravity, then you have to use it to conserve the energy. Here the energy is electrical energy, electrical power we are saving. So these are some energy conservation methods that doesn't require any cost, or there is no investment for that. So that's why these are comes under short-term energy conservation schemes, and they can save up to 10% of our cost. Is it clear up to here?